Hey, welcome. I hope you all are doing so good. Thank you for joining me. Today's reading is what is the gossip on you, or what are people saying about you? And you can have like specific people or groups of people on your mind, maybe before you choose your group. But we do have 3 groups for you to choose from: group 1, group 2, and group 3. If you need to pause the video so you can take a moment to choose your group, feel free, but I will see you guys in your readings. Welcome. If you've chosen the first group, then this reading is for you. The person, people on your mind, what is the gossip about you? What are people saying? All right, so we have the Fool upright, we have the Page of Swords upright, and the Three of Wands upright. All right, so it feels like the gossip about you right now is that they are starting, or people are starting to see a fiery side to you. They say that you're starting to be more authentic as well. They do say you're starting over in some area of your life. They also mention that it seems like you're fed up with some area of your life, and that could be why they feel that you are wanting to start over, or you are wanting to change. But people do tend to gossip that you have changed a lot. They say that you definitely aren't the same person they used to know. And if you're asking about more than one person, like some say it in a positive way, others say it in a negative way, you know? But I have to say, it does feel like mainly people say it in a positive way as opposed to negative. But if certain people have been impacted by your changes, then they could be the ones that say it in a negative way, even if you changing wasn't a negative thing. But maybe they don't, like it's affected them in a negative way. Like it could be a them problem, but yeah. But anyway, so some people could be like envious as well of certain changes that you have made, or changes that you're currently making. And there are people that say you've given up on things, maybe them, maybe certain people, certain situations too quickly. But I have to say, this does seem like it's referring to a specific person, a specific situation, as opposed to in general, because it doesn't feel like these people are gossiping about you, being someone who does give up in general, just when it comes to specific things or a specific person or situation. But yeah, some people are also saying how sweet you are. They talk about you having more respect for yourself, or that it seems like you have more respect for yourself. For some of you, it's just the respect that you have for yourself in general, and not that not that it's less or more than it was in the past, if you know what I mean. But yeah, they could be saying, for some of you, they could be saying that you are like a smart ass in some way. Like some of these people could feel like you're intellectually superior to them. What's that word I'm looking for? Like some people could feel you are being condescending. Like there's someone specific, like this could be only like one person that says you're trying to make them feel dumb, or they just feel dumb when they are around you. And this could be someone you see often, but it feels like they aren't family, they aren't a friend, they aren't really an acquaintance. Like this could be someone that you actually dislike and vice versa. And you may not see this person daily, you see them often, maybe weekly or something like that. But yeah, but it feels like there are other, if it feels like this is like an isolated opinion, you know, but there are other people who talk about how gentle you are, or talk about how gentle you seem and how soft you seem, and just like careful, you know. Hmm. So yeah, the talk on you is that you are wanting to travel more, that you want to explore things that you haven't had a chance to yet. They gossip about you liking your freedom, or it seems like you're free to pretty much do anything you want. Like people say you're unique and original. Some people talk about how huge your potential is as well. And people do mention how they really like your confidence and how assured you are about certain things. So people also gossip about you wanting to be more playful, but feel that life isn't really set up for you like that at the moment. They could think, for some of you, they could think that you don't want to be seen as weak. Not that being playful equals being weak, of course, but they could feel you don't want to be in that playful energy, maybe in certain environments or around certain people, because you want to appear like strong, like serious or stable, you know, that kind of energy. So yeah, people also mention that it seems like, or they know for a fact, that you are initiating some kind of transition in your life. People do mention you being kind of impatient as well. And this impatience could be referring to change. It could be referring to, you know, you want in progress in certain areas of your life. But yeah, people also talk about you seeming very open to people, while others try to say that you're closed off. People talk a lot about how smart you are. Some people talk about how much they like talking to you because of how receptive you have been to them, how open you've been. And like, there's certain people that say you seem genuinely interested in what they have to say. Um, they may not say that you're very talkative yourself, but definitely when it comes to conversations, it looks like you're, you know, listening, and it looks like you're paying attention and you're really taking in what they say. So it feels like there are a few people who really appreciate that quality in you. But yeah, people always also mention that you always have new ideas, new insights. It's like they feel your mind is always working, you know? People also say you're realistic too. They feel that you're great at observing, and that's something that they have mentioned to people as well. People also gossip about you wanting to be in a relationship, but they also feel and have said that you seem to be quite selective about who you allow in your life when it comes to like relationships. It could be love relationships, friendships, that kind of thing, any kind of relationships, really. But yeah, people also talk about you being very patient with them and other people. Like maybe when it comes to yourself and your own goals, you can be quite impatient, but when it comes to other people, they feel that you seem much more open, much more, you know, patient when it comes to them and other people. People also mention that it feels like you don't like when things stay the same for too long, that you do like change. But people also feel and say that you're usually going with the flow, or that's how they're perceiving it. All right, so we also have mountain, hill, reach your goals, and we have dog, be your own best friend. So mountain hill was clarified by the chariot. Like, some people talk about how determined you are to reach certain goals that you have, you know? For some of you, people could just talk about the fact that you have goals in general. So people also feel that, or say, I don't know if they say this, but they could definitely feel that when it comes to your goals, you're very stubborn. It's like, even if there is a mountain hill in front of you and your goal is behind that mountain hill, and they kind of feel like you're just going to be like, okay, looks like I got to climb that mountain and hill in order to reach my goal. They feel that you are very stubborn when it comes to your goals, in a good way, obviously. Especially with dog, be your own best friend, like, people do feel you are very loyal to yourself, like maybe to your beliefs. And again, like, this could come back to certain goals that you may have. So people could also gossip about you wanting a friend, like wanting a really close, good friend, a bestie. Aw. Okay, so we have easy does it. We also have unconventional. We have ending a trauma. And we also have listen to advice. Like, some people say you've obviously been through a really tough time with this card here. Like, you have been through your fair share of struggles, but they also mention that you haven't allowed, in their perspective, you haven't allowed your trauma, your struggles, your challenges, certain things that you've been through kind of define you. Like, they feel like you don't let your trauma show through your behavior, in their opinion. Like, for some of you, I don't know if they know about your trauma or not, but they could kind of look at what you've been through, and then look at, how you navigate certain things, or the fact that you're positive about certain things, and yeah. They don't necessarily think or say that you've kind of put certain things behind you, but they definitely say that you haven't let it not change you, but you haven't let it dictate how you behave, and stuff like that, and how you interact with people or approach certain situations. So people also gossip about you taking it easy on someone, that you've been very gentle in your approach to someone. This isn't someone you're close to, that they feel like you've been easy on this person. This isn't someone you're in a conflict with or anything like that. This could be someone that is more of an acquaintance. People also gossip about how they think you should do more things that make you happy. They could feel like you are focused on other things that maybe you aren't really prioritizing your happiness, or like just kind of prioritizing doing, like fun things, stuff like that. So in the past, people could have felt that you were more like unconventional, maybe doing things differently. But it feels like the opposite with this unconventional card. It feels like people are more so saying that you're becoming more, um, maybe more traditional in ways, or more like, nah, it doesn't really feel like conforming, because people still see and say that you are someone that is very unique and original. But like, if any of you had a very unconventional lifestyle before, they could feel like you are journeying more into the opposite direction. And this doesn't have to be in all aspects of your life, of course. It could just be in certain aspects of your life. The gossip on you is that you don't really listen to advice. Like, some people say that you could benefit from, kind of listening or taking in what other people are saying. So we also have ask an expert. What should I put this? I'll put it here. So we have ask an expert. What does it say on the back? So it says, don't rely on your friends or the internet. Listen to a professional. So ask a expert could also have something to do with listen to advice, but I will see. We also have you need a big hug. We also have you are being shady. So the gossip on you is that certain people say that they feel you try to maybe come across as an expert in certain, things, and, where they feel you're not. Even if you do have a lot of knowledge about certain things, it feels like they're not really maybe respecting your knowledge on certain things because you aren't an expert, or because you aren't, maybe working in a particular field. For some of you, instead of what the message was before, for some of you, it's more so that people say that you don't really listen to the advice of others, or maybe you do listen, but you don't really take it on, or take it in, should I say. So some people also gossip that it seems like you need love, or you want love, should I say. So some people gossip about you seeming kind of shady at times. But it feels like they also understand or say that what you say, even if it does come across shady, is truthful and honest. And finally, we have rebellious, we have persistent, we have quiet, we have bad-tempered, we have anxious, and hypocritical. So for some of you, the gossip on you is that you don't seem rebellious anymore. So it feels like people are seeing two different sides of you. It feels like some people are saying that you aren't as rebellious anymore, or you don't seem that rebellious anymore, or you never were that rebellious, and maybe they misinterpreted some of your actions, or who you were. But there are other people that are like, nope, this person is completely rebellious, that you may not really listen to other people. But this feels mainly when it comes to their opinion on your life or what you're doing, that you don't really listen. Like when someone gives you advice, or whether it's unsolicited, I don't know. But yeah, but what I said earlier still stands. Like there are some people who talk about how open and no, so how receptive you are or were, during your conversations. Maybe because they were talking about themselves as opposed to like talking about you. Like people definitely say you're motivated, like with persistent. People definitely say you're persistent, that you don't give up. But again, like there are some people that say you aren't persistent when it comes to like certain people and certain things. Maybe you're just quite selective, or maybe do people say that? No, it feels like they don't really say, do they think you're, yeah, it feels like they more so think that you're selective when it comes to what you're persistent and motivated towards and what you aren't. So with quiet, people are actually talking about you not speaking to someone. It doesn't feel like you're giving this person the silent treatment or anything like that, just that you don't really talk to them like that, maybe as much as other people in that environment, like there are other people you would talk to, like talking to, but there's someone else that you're like, you just don't have any conversation for them. So with bad tempered, it feels like people are talking about how they thought you would have a bad temper, how they thought you would be like temperamental or reactive, but it turns out you aren't. Like people also gossip about you potentially making other people feel anxious. That was clarified by the Three of Cups. So this could be in like social situations, a community setting, a group setting. But they also feel, or other people the people who you don't make feel anxious, basically. It feels like they recognize that you aren't doing it intentionally. If this other person feels anxious around you. So it also feels like there is someone saying that they have been quite hypocritical when it comes to you. Why is that? What were they being hypocritical about? So this may not be for everyone, of course, but for some of you, there's someone that realizes they were hypocritical about you, and they could have been hypocritical about the changes that you make, the fact that you change quite often in their perspective. But the reason why they feel like they're a hypocrite is because they don't really change at all. So how am I supposed to complain that you change a lot when I, rarely change at all, So maybe for some of you, someone has realized that, or someone has pointed it out to them. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful and make sense. And I'm wishing you guys the best. All right, please take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you have chosen the second group, then this reading is for you. So, what are people? What is the gossip about you? We have the King of Wands in reverse. We have the Two of Cups upright and the Four of Swords upright. All right, so it feels like the gossip on you is that you seem kind of shy, or that you are shy, or maybe in certain environments or around certain people you can be quite shy. And for some of you, this is not necessarily shyness, it's just that they feel you aren't a character, a person that is like imposing, if that makes sense. Like they feel that you aren't someone that will kind of try to like infiltrate a conversation or a group, that kind of thing. Infiltrate sounds a bit, I don't know, but but yeah. But I have to say, like, it doesn't really feel like people gossip about you too much. It definitely feels like people have their thoughts about you, but they may not really talk about you to other people so much. So this reading may be a mixture of what they or people are thinking about you and what they're saying. But I will try to like differentiate the messages if I can, even though it's probably going to be different for each of you anyways. But anyways, so it feels like there is someone talking about you being embarrassed to be seen with them, or embarrassed of what they did, or of them in general. This doesn't really feel like someone you're still connected to, though. This could be someone you used to like, and but someone you don't really see anymore. You don't really, like them all that much anymore. Like, this could be someone you actively dislike, actually. But yeah, there's someone or people saying that they think you don't trust when people are too quiet. Like, some people say that you don't like too much confidence in some people, and you don't like when people lack confidence either, you know? But it seems like there are some people who say that it seems like you don't have much confidence in yourself. But people also say that you don't like it when other people are too submissive. But yeah, they talk about you being too critical, and for some of you, hypocritical in some way, that you do the things that you may have a problem with. But I have to say, like, people do mention you being gentle for the most part, but they also kind of feel that you are secretive, but they don't feel that you're secretive in like a sneaky kind of way, if you know what I mean. So they could think you're secretive in a, like, you know, you hide your true thoughts and feelings kind of way. People also think or say that you're quite bossy with certain people, or in a specific environment you can be kind of bossy. The talk about you is that you do seem a bit negative at times. For some of you, they could feel you have a dark sense of humor. So I have to say, like, there's this really random weird message that's coming through. Like, this is not for everyone. This could be just for one specific person here, if you know. Um, but it feels like you'll know whether or not it's for you or not. I don't even want to say it because it's just not for everyone. So it's like, what's the point, you know? Okay, fuck it. For some of you, not for some of you, for very few, one person here, people talk about you like being a racist or something like that. Is it racist? Yeah. Again, like they could feel that you've said something racist. Like I don't know. Like I'm hearing like offensive or racist jokes. But I have to say, like, for the majority of the people here, there are people who say you've really embraced their culture or other cultures. But this one is for the majority, unlike the previous message, you know? But yeah, people also talk about you being demanding sometimes when it comes to maybe work or money or someone spending or a specific person. You can be quite demanding. Maybe there's like a person in your life where you have to kind of stay on top of this person. People are also talking about you experiencing a setback in your life, but they also mention that it seems like you don't really care about the setback. They say that you may have even wanted the setback, or you're kind of happy about it. People say that you're not wanting to really put your energy into anything right now in their perspective. And for some of you, they could say this because they know or think you're recovering from something. People also say that someone has taken advantage of you, taken advantage of your vulnerabilities, or someone preyed on you when you were like at a vulnerable time. Some people say that you haven't taken ownership of some of your actions, and this could be referring to certain things that have gone wrong. They could feel like you place the blame in, you know, like the wrong areas or wrong people. But yeah, some people say that it feels like you seem beaten down by life, you know, like that's the way they perceive it, even if it's not true. People also talk about you being very generous. People talk about you being happier and stronger when you're with someone. It could be like a family member, it could be a romantic partner, but when you're with someone, that's when you're at your happiest, when you're at your, you know, strongest and most content and stable, you know? So people also talk about you being quite selective and not really being compatible with a lot of people. And they think or say you don't really care to be compatible with a lot of people, um, just because you know who you are, and not because they think you're being, dismissive, or you aren't really trying with the majority of people. But having said that, even though they feel like you aren't compatible with a lot of people, they also feel that you do great in group settings, you know? Like some people do say that you do seem like you aren't very personable, but that you're very close and affectionate and nurturing, friendly with the people you are closest to. Like it could be a select few people. Like with those people you are personable, but with the majority of people you don't seem to be in their perspective. Like if any of you here have a partner, like people talk about you really loving them, that you love as well. Like overall, people do say you seem very respectful and treat people fairly and equally. They talk about you being calm and focused most of the time. Like it seems like you're always concentrating, maybe in your head quite a bit. I couldn't find the right word before, but some people say or think that you have like this nonchalant kind of vibe to you, you know? But people say or think that you prefer to have deep and meaningful relationships. But they could also mention for some of you that that isn't something that you have in your life right now, deep and meaningful relationships and connections with people. But yeah, people do say you seem quite reserved. Some people say that you need to love on yourself a bit more. People talk about you feeling the need to protect yourself, that you want to be and feel protected, maybe by the people around you or your close people, or like if you kind of meet someone or people in the future, then you kind of want them to like have that protective energy towards you. But yeah, people say that you do seem stressed, kind of preoccupied, and they kind of feel that you just want peace in your life, and for any problems that are present to kind of just be resolved. Okay, so we have family and we also have flower. So it says pluck the weeds and plant the seeds of your most magnificent expression. So with flower, it feels like people talk about you or thinking you need to be more, maybe more true to yourself in some way. For some of you, people also gossip about you being kind of delicate like a flower. So with family, it feels like the gossip on you is that you may not have a close relationship with your family, that you may feel kind of isolated from them. Maybe maybe some of you, maybe you just live at a distance from them. But yeah, it feels like people say or think that you want more people in your life that are, you know, like super close to you, like super supportive, like a family should be to a person, you know? That you do want these deep connections. But they kind of feel like these deep connections could be hard for you to secure for whatever reason. So we also have make time for self-care. We also have revealing your true self. As you allow others to know the real you, you'll feel loved for who you truly are. We also have free will, get out of your cocoon. And we have the Four of Swords there as well. Interesting. All right, and we also have life's purpose. So this is going to seem kind of harsh, like don't take it if it doesn't make sense, but it feels like for some of you, people say or think that your life doesn't really have a purpose at the moment. Even if they kind of see you, you know, being grateful for a lot of the things you do have in your life, for having, maybe even having a lot to be grateful for. But for some reason, they just assume you don't really have, you know, a purpose right now. So it feels like people are saying like there's something getting in the way of your ability to properly take care of yourself. There's a lot of purple here as well. So you know how like there's meanings behind certain colors? There could be a meaning behind the color purple for this group. Wait, I'll see what the meaning is. I'm going to pause the video one moment. So people say like there's something quite impressive about you, like quite majestic about you, but they kind of feel that you don't really see that, you know, beauty, that shine, that kind of yeah, that you don't see that your own magnificence in some way, you know? Like people feel, see, or assume or talk about how it seems like your mind is kind of closed off, you know? That you don't really see your potential, you know, or you don't really know. It feels like they more so feel like you don't see your potential as opposed to you see your potential and you're not living up to it, you know? It feels more like the latter. But it feels like people see you as someone that comes across as quite like luxurious and wise, you know, but it feels like people think you don't really lean into that energy, or you don't really own it, or you kind of undervalue that beauty that you do have to yourself, you know. But anyways, moving back to the reading. Like people talk about wanting to see the real you know, wanting to get to know the real you. And it feels like people are wanting, that was clarified by Three of Cups. So this could be in social situations or group situations. Like they're, kind of desperate to see the real you. Like they want to love you for who you are. Like they don't want to feel like there is this disconnect between the two of you, because they feel like there's maybe a lot of potential in, in your potential relationship to them, and just your potential in general, but they feel like because of this disconnect that you could be feeling in yourself, or just the disconnect you have with other people, that your potential isn't being explored. Not only your personal potential, but the potential that you have in your connections with other people, So with free will, get out of your cocoon, it's not that people talk about you, um, needing to, get out of your shell or anything like that. It's more so they feel that you're trying to, hmm. So it's more so that they feel like you're trying to be invisible, you know? But yeah, do you have more from this one? All right, so we have here, drop the ego. We also have whatever you're thinking, don't do it. And on the back, it says now is not the time. And we also have, it's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. And on the back, it says stop blaming people for your stuff. It also feels like someone saying that someone completely wrecked your confidence. Like they feel like the way you're seeing yourself now, it kind of stems from somewhere. For some of you, like some people could feel like it stems from maybe childhood. So the gossip on you is that it could seem like you have a big ego from the outside looking in, or people that don't really know you too well. But they say it's actually the complete opposite, that you don't have much of an ego. So the gossip on you is that you shouldn't act on your impulsive thoughts or reckless thoughts, or maybe even the negative thoughts that you may have. Like they could feel that sometimes, they could feel that for you, your mind could be maybe a dark place, and it feels like like some people say, or they don't want you to like kind of feed into those thoughts. Like it feels like there are certain people that want you to love yourself a bit more. And with this card, it's not everyone else's fault. It's not everyone else's fault. It's yours. It feels like there are people who say, or who are thinking that they want you to have power over your life, have power over, your decisions. But if it feels mainly like not letting external forces have power over you, as opposed to you having power over yourself. And finally, we have casual, we have imaginative, outspoken, we have proud, we have emotional, we have versatile. So the gossip on you is that you do seem like a casual person. But people also talk about wanting to see you be more relaxed, like less inhibited, you know? People talk about you having a good imagination. They could talk about your creativity. They also talk about wanting to see you be more outspoken. That was clarified by the Knight of Swords. So it feels like some people talk or they think about, like they want you to be more assertive, more outspoken. Like the Emperor came up next. Like they want you to own the power that you have. Like they want you to be stronger and feel stronger in yourself, you know? People are talking about, there are some people who talk about how proud they are of you. This is the people that are closest to you though. Like the people who know you, you know? Some people could gossip about you being emotional, maybe you being sensitive, or what's that word? Maybe empathetic, actually. People also talk about you being versatile, and this could be more so in terms of your appearance. Could be in other ways actually that you're more aware of. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it can be helpful. I hope it can make sense, and I'm wishing you guys all the best, alright? Please take care of yourselves. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you have chosen the third group, then this reading is for you. The person, people, group on your mind, what is the gossip on you? What are they saying about you? All right. So we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse to start. We have the Five of Wands upright. And we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. All right, so it feels like people talk about you not being happy or content with where you're at in life or in a certain area of your life. They could think your progress has been slow, but they also mention that it hasn't stopped you from, you know, moving forward with certain goals that you have, with certain plans that you have. Like it hasn't stopped your motivation in their, you know, perspective. People actually mention you being quite brave in their perspective because you never give up, you know. There are some people that are talking about, like, that talk about other people who find you intimidating, but it feels like they also mention that you aren't doing anything to intimidate these people, you know. People that aren't close to you, but people you may see often, say you don't make a lot of effort. But I can't really tell you in which way though. It could be in, you know, different ways for each of you here. But it feels like it's about something specific. It doesn't feel like they, you know, say you're someone that doesn't make effort in general. It's just like maybe when it comes to them specifically, or when it comes to like specific individual kind of things, you know. But anyway, so for some of you, some people could mention, it could come up in conversation that you didn't go to school, or they think you didn't go to school, or maybe you don't really have a traditional form of education. Like for some of you, people could say that you don't need a traditional education to do what you do. But they could see this regardless of whether you went to school or not though, you know? It feels like people talk about you being very self-motivated, that you can't be motivated by things or people outside of yourself. They also mention that you wouldn't be, or you aren't easy to influence. They say you have your own mind and mention you being very stubborn when it comes to your own mind and what you know is right for yourself. Some people say your self motivation can be selfish, but it's not in a way where people think you put your needs above their own, but they could think you don't put them on a pedestal or put certain things that they've done on a pedestal or give them, or like give them, what's that? What am I thinking? Or give them praise. Sorry, like you don't give them praise or they feel like you don't. So it feels like basically they could feel you don't give them credit, in certain situations, which they could find, selfish. But yeah, for the most part, it feels like people say you seem calm. For some of you, it could be calmer, like you just seem calmer these days. Um, for others of you, it's just like you seem quite calm in general. But it feels like they say that it seems you don't start fights as well. You don't, start conflicts with people. You don't really get involved when other people are fighting. They could kind of feel or say that you generally distance yourself from the drama. But yeah, it feels like people talk about you being quite focused on a particular area of your life. Like for some of you, this is in terms of your money, maybe in terms of your job, your career, maybe other ambitions that you have. For some of you, they could feel, it feels like for some of you, people say that you could be focused on clearing debts or just getting into a better overall financial situation. People also talk about you not seeming completely happy, maybe grounded or fulfilled. Like people just get the impression that you're not really happy with where you're at in life, but they kind of feel you are focused on changing that. And even though the Five of Wands is upright, it seems like people mention you not being competitive. People think and say that you aren't comparing yourself to anyone, that you don't compare your life to anybody else's. And it feels like a lot of these people, they think and say it's admirable or humbling for them that you don't compare yourself, or that you're not really competitive when it comes to other people. But yeah, people talk about you being good at overcoming, um, maybe even avoiding challenges at times. People could also talk about you being a peacemaker as opposed to like adding fuel to fires. But it feels like people talk about someone being in competition with you, but they think you don't even notice this person at all, or this person's intentions or their feelings towards you like that. Um, People also talk about you having a lot of demands, you have a lot of responsibilities, or just that you're shouldering a lot. Some people talk about you going through difficult changes, that there could be a lot of external pressure that you're under. People say that you are vulnerable right now in their perspective. People say that they feel you need to stop taking on someone else's problems. But this feels like it's like about one person, you know, instead of generally taking on other people's problems. Because it feels like generally they feel that you don't take on other people's problems, or you don't really get hyped up or emotionally invested in other people's problems. And it may be hyped up about people's problems as opposed to emotionally invested. People actually could feel you can be quite emotionally invested in other people and what they're going through. But when it comes to like getting amped up and like getting, you know, frustrated or stressed out because of other people's problems, they don't feel like you really, you know, take it on like that. But they could feel like you do that when it comes to a very specific person. But anyways, yeah, people also talk about you that you may have given up in a certain area of your life, especially when it comes to maybe fun related things. They feel like you're not, I wouldn't say given up actually. I would say they feel that you're not focused on it, or it's just not a priority for you. Actually, no, no. For some of you, they could say you have given up when it comes to fun related things. People also talk about you overstepping someone's boundaries. Wait. I don't know in what way. It could be possibly someone you're not all that close to. They feel like you're overstepping their boundaries. Doesn't really feel like you have though, but they could perceive something you did that way. But yeah, people have also been saying that you're not being as territorial as you could be with a person or in a certain environment. But people generally say that you're not someone that bows down to other people, regardless of how much, you know, power, you know, that other person may have. Like people say that you truly treat people equally, or you truly kind of see people equally, you know, for the most part. So there's people gossiping about how another person is trying to make you feel defensive, how another person could be trying to get a reaction out of you, but they either feel like you're ignoring this person, they could feel like you're treating this person as if you're above them, not in that kind of way, but like if someone is trying to do something that's like petty, just not your vibe, they feel like you're ignoring it, like you're above that person in this particular situation and when it comes to their actions towards you, you know. So yeah, they could feel like you are ignoring someone's maybe defensiveness towards you, or treating you differently, or treating you, you know, different from the other people in that environment. But anyway, so let's see what these other cards are saying. All right, so we have X, reunite with a lost aspect of yourself. We also have shopping, pay attention to what energizes you. Yeah, people say you really do pay attention to what energizes you, to what is, obviously they may not use these words, but they feel like you pay attention to what, is truly for you, what is in alignment with you, what is in alignment with your morals, and your likes and dislikes. They feel like you really do kind of pay attention to other people's energy. So some people also mention that it seems like you haven't been really investing in your self-care, like maybe, getting new products for yourself, or new clothes, and that kind of things. Like people could say that you don't seem too focused on that stuff right now. Like people feel like once you're focused on something, once you're paying attention towards something, that you're kind of tunnel vision, and you can't really, not that you can't, I don't know if it's can't or won't or don't wanna, I don't know, but they feel like once you're paying attention to something, then that's what you're paying attention to, that is what energizes you, and that is what makes you feel motivated and focused. So yeah, for some of you, like the gossip on you is that you are quite selective. Like maybe intentionally, just on things that kind of motivate you, that feels right for you, like things that you want to focus on. So for some of you, the gossip on you is that you may have lost a connection that you have to yourself. And again, like people could say or think this is because you are preoccupied, like your mind is focused on other things. But they feel like you don't really feel connected to yourself fully, because of how focused you're on other things. Like some people say that you've lost something about yourself that maybe they felt made you in the past. Let me see what they felt like you lost. Like if any of you used to be quite emotional, very reactive in the past, then some people could feel like you lost that aspect of yourself. But it feels like that may not necessarily be a bad thing. All right, so we also have control issues. Sorry. So we have control issues, we have spiritual path. So underneath control issues, it says utilize your God-given strengths and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. Underneath spiritual path, we have your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. We also have willpower, and we also have finding the path. So people mention you having a lot of willpower, a lot of determination in their opinions. Like people say they imagine you to be under a lot of stress. They don't really feel that, they don't really It's like they don't say it for certain that you're under stress. Just like, okay, if I was in your shoes, then maybe I'd be stressed out. Like they say it in that kind of way. Like even if certain things or certain areas of your life are unsteady, a bit unbalanced, they still say you are in control of your life, in control of what's going on and your plans, And with finding the path, underneath it, it says you are the driver and the navigator. So they feel like you're in full connection of your life, that you are in. Did I say full connection of your life? I meant control. Full control of your life, like full control of your direction. Um, and yeah. It feels like a lot of people say that you seem to already know what the correct path is for you, even if you have some detours, okay, some roadblocks, some challenges, they feel like you will get over it anyway because you have your goal, you see your goal, and that is the direction you're going in, even if you have to, take not shortcuts, but take another route sometimes. So people also talk about you being on a very spiritual path or being on a very religious path, depending on, your beliefs. But with your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, like people say, think that what you want, your goals are very clear to you, that you have clarity over what you want. Some people also mention you being a very different person because you are on a spiritual path, or at some point you took a spiritual journey, and they feel like you are a very different person now because of it. And with this card as well, it says um, prompts you to make necessary life changes. Like people say that you aren't afraid to make whatever changes you need to make when you need to make it. There are also some people that say you have put them onto a spiritual path, or you have maybe encouraged them, or you've helped them reconnect with, I don't know if it's like religion or like their connection to, something higher than themselves, whatever people believe as individuals. They feel like maybe you've helped them reconnect to that. For some of you, it's that you kind of put them onto a spiritual path, maybe put them onto things that they weren't really aware of before, especially when it comes to spirituality. Like people also say that you've helped them make necessary changes, or you encourage them, or you influence them. Maybe this was indirectly, maybe it was directly, but you did help them make necessary life changes. For some of you, it feels like people say you've helped them find a better path for themselves. All right, so we also have uh, get over yourself, pull yourself together. We have get out of your head. We also have stop talking, be quiet and listen, is what it says on the back. Like people do talk about you being in your head a lot. They don't. It doesn't really feel like they say you need to get out of your head, but they do mention you being in your head. You know. So it feels like people gossip about you, like them thinking that you feel that other people should get over themselves. And again, like this could come back to you not really putting certain people on a pedestal, like not really um feeling like anyone has authority over you. You know, that kind of I can't remember what that particular message was. Like maybe like yeah, it was something like you not bowing down to other people, right? um so yeah, some people talk about you feeling like other people should get over themselves, you know. So there's some people gossiping about how you stop talking, like how you're not as talkative as you used to be, or how you're being more selective with who you talk to. But it feels like whoever you stop talking to, it feels like these people are upset about that fact. And it feels like they do gossip about it in a negative way. And people also get the impression, like people also say that they feel you think other people should talk less and listen more. So it also feels like people are gossiping about another person who has stopped talking to you, or by like they've stopped talking to you in like a social situation that could possibly make you feel isolated. But again, like even though people are kind of going through these lengths, it feels like the people who are noticing that feel that you don't notice. You know, they feel like you don't care, like you're not really affected by it. Honestly, it feels like a lot of people do talk about how strong you are. And it feels like they're like it feels like people who maybe talk negatively about you, it feels like there are other people gossiping how like they wish these other people would stop talking negatively about you, maybe to them. If any of you feel like intuitively like you hear another message in regards to stop talking, you know, that could be another message for you, because I feel like there's more from this card, but I just can't, I don't know what it is right now, you know. So if there is like another message that is just nagging you when it comes to this card, like please take that, you know, for yourself. And finally, we have neat, we have sensitive, we have perfectionist, we have surprising, supportive, and ambitious. So the gossip on you is that you are very supportive, that you seem very supportive, that you're very neat, that you can be a perfectionist, or that you are a perfectionist. Like the gossip on you is that not many things surprise you. Like people get the impression that not a lot surprises you. Like not a lot can shock you, you know. People, I mean, this came up before, but people do talk about you being ambitious. That was clarified as well by the Ace of Wands. They could also talk about you having, you know, good ideas, or the things that you're working towards are maybe clever or innovative, whatever it may be. And finally, people also talk about how you may have other people feeling emotional, feeling sensitive, you know. But anyways, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful and make sense. And I'm wishing you guys the best, all right? Please take care. Bye.